me tell you. Okay, so last Saturday, no, Friday. So Friday, we're like, oh my gosh, let's go out, let's get off this campus, let's go downtown. Okay, so we go downtown. And we're like, okay, there's 11 of us. Actually, I'm not a lot of people. So there's 11 of us. And so like, okay, we need to get 2 taxis, and we're going to go to this Italian restaurant. Doesn't take reservations, so we got to get down there in 20 minutes or we're never getting in. So we call the taxis. I get in one taxi, and then we're driving, and then all of a sudden we realize the other taxi got in a car crash. And so like we pull over, and we're like, oh my gosh, guys, are you okay? And they're like, you know what, just keep going, we got to get to this Italian restaurant. We get to this restaurant, and they're like, yeah, listen, it's going to be in a 2.5 hour wait till we can get all of these people in. And we're like, okay. I'm like, oh, I actually know a restaurant across the street. And there's a really good Mexican restaurant. We can do it. So we go across the street, and I go into what I think is the Mexican restaurant. I put our name in. They're like, 11 people? Oh, yeah, just give us 15 minutes to push some tables together, and we'll get you right in. I was like, this is amazing. Until I realized that it actually wasn't the right restaurant. It wasn't the right restaurant. So I was like, oh my gosh. I went next door to the actual restaurant, and I was like, okay, how long is it going to take to get 11 people in? And they're like 3 to 3.5 hours. I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. So we're like, okay, well, we were sitting down at this restaurant. Is it any good? No. They had some really crazy stuff like chicken, fritters, blood, something that wasn't blood sausages though. And like buffalo something, and this is like really weird stuff. So we walk out, and we thought we were going to a nice Italian restaurant, so we're dressed up all cute and stuff. I was wearing a dress, guys. And so we walk down the street. We end up at this pizza place, and it's like it's slightly sketchy, really low quality. We're like, seriously, this is what it's become. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this whole time it's pouring rain, just completely getting drenched in rain. So we're soaked, and we're miserable, and we're cold. And then someone's like, oh yeah, Fountain Square, which is like basically the center of downtown Cincinnati. They're like, oh yeah, Fountain Square is a 12-minute walk. It was the most miserable 12-minute walk of my life. Well, close to it. But anyways, so it's pouring rain, and we're just marching down there, stopping at every restaurant we see, and we're like, can you get us down? Can you get us a table? It was either too expensive or they couldn't get us in. And so eventually, we just see in the distance, we see Panera, and so we're like, okay, let's go to Panera. And we get there, and we're like, oh, it's closed. And so then we go over to Chipotle, and then we see a place that someone actually recommended to us. So we ended up eating at a place appropriately named Rock Bottom. So we sat and we ate at Rock Bottom. It was so good, probably because I hadn't eaten in a long time. We were all just starving. So we ate at Rock Bottom, and then we were hanging out in Fountain Square, having a great time. And then half the people had to head back. And then one of the girls I was with, like, okay, let's call a cab. Let's get back now. So they call a cab, and he's like, okay, look for me. I'm going to be the one pulling up in a white limo. And we're like, seriously? Like, haha. And then he actually pulled up in a limo. We started freaking out like crazy. So I pull back up to Brockman, the most luxurious place on campus, in a limo. So that was my Friday night, and it was really crazy.